muted. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kobold Con. Hope you're all doing well. It was such a joy talking to Rich, talking about the TOV starter set, which, honestly, I'm not new to Tales of the Valiant or TTRPGs, but honestly, I kind of want to get myself just to kind of get, I mean, first of all, the miniatures. I mean, come on, the miniatures are great. But also, it feels like just something that's like super easy. I mean, the adventures itself, despite the fact that they were beginning adventures, seems like they might just be kind of fun to play. The miniatures seem cool, but also this feels like, I don't know, I'm sure there's someone in my life that would love to get into tabletop RPGs, but just has no idea how to do it. I think the starter set is like a genuinely a really cool place to start off, a really good place to start off, especially because like talking about like the conversations of like one of the things that he mentioned about like some people don't even know how to have the conversation in game. Like, do I speak in first person? Do I speak in third person? I think having a book that kind of walks you through, this is what an interaction might be like, this is what role playing means, like all of that is so like, if I had a kid, I'd be getting them the TOV starter set so that they could play with their friends. But now I'm gonna have to find someone else's kid to give it to, or I don't know. It just, I mean, I don't know. It just seems genuinely really cool. It sounds like a good anchor point from which to explore the Kobold verse thereafter. I mean, yeah, if you could have a connected thing, like, honestly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, genuinely, hey, I have no control over the games that we make. I want to be so clear about that. I'm the media production manager. I do not make the books. They let me write sometimes, which is fun, but if I could push something, that'd be great. That'd be cool. However, that's not what we're here to talk about right this second. Right now, we're going to talk about virtual tabletops a little bit. That's right, folks. Look, I know that playing games at our tables with pens and papers, dice, and all of that good stuff is great. I love it. However, I do live in a world in which the vast majority of the people I play games with don't live in the same state as me. Not the same city. We're not a drive away from each other, which is tragic. However, virtual tabletops have been the great bridge between people in these times. In this digital age, we do have the tools. And as much as I was talking about how sometimes virtual tabletops make it change the way in which we engage with games to be more about the tools rather than the game itself, it is a great tool still to use to play the game, to do a lot of the more menial tasks that might make playing the game a little bit more arduous. A great place to keep notes, great place to determine stats and rolling digital dice, keeping everyone honest about the dice that they're rolling, being able to use maps and all of that good stuff. Virtual tabletops are amazing for that. So some of our dear friends over at Shard Virtual Tabletop and also Mirrorscape, two of our virtual tabletop partners, have made videos to tell you, hey, are you interested in playing Tales of the Valiant but want to do it on a tabletop? Or on a virtual tabletop? Here's a way you could do it. So, I've got some videos for you all, and so you all can take a look. The zoom-ins. The zoom-ins are brutal. What zoom-ins? Oh, am I moving and it's like defocusing from myself, maybe? I don't know what the zoom-ins are. What zoom-ins? Is it zooming in? I don't know what it was. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's like defocusing as I put my hands closer. That makes sense. My camera doesn't like me. It likes my hands more. All right, well, let's watch some videos about some virtual tabletops, and then we'll talk about all of the stuff that we have on them.
Hey folks, this is Nick, the community manager for Shard Tabletop. I wanted to talk a little bit today about Shard Tabletop and why I think Shard is the best place and best way to play Dungeons & Dragons and Tales of the Valiant using Kobold Press's content. Now, I just wanted to do a quick video showing you how to get started using Shard, both from the perspective of a game master as well as a player, and to show you some of the ways that we've actually implemented Tales of the Valiant on Shard to make it a really seamless experience for folks who maybe haven't tried playing Tales of the Valiant or they want to, but all of their online content is already set up with 5th edition. So we're going to talk a little bit about today the ways that you can use TOV and access the other Kobold press content on Shard. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, before we get started on how to use Shard, I first wanted to just hop over to our marketplace and show you just the sheer amount of content that we have available from Kobold Press. So there's 80 products in the marketplace now, and that number grows every month. I mean, almost any Kobold Press title that you can think of is on Shard. If it's not already on here, chances are it's on its way. Our 3 primary subscriptions that we expect most folks to use that really want to get the best Kobold Press experience are going to be the player subscription, the game master subscription, and the Tales of the Valiant starter kit. Before I talk about kind of what those look like on Shard, I just want to give you a quick overview of how to use Shard. So we're going to jump on over to the main play page. Okay, so here I am on the Shard homepage. As you can see here, I've actually gone over to my Kobold Press rule set that I created that will default to the Black Flag role-playing system. To get started with creating your first character, you're just going to click on New Character, as you'd expect. It has a random name generator. Let's go with Hickson Tinglum. All right, so one thing you may notice is different here than what you might have seen with a 5e character is we've got lineage and heritage here, as well as background, class, and abilities. Just to show you real quickly how easily you can switch back and forth between the Tales of the Valiant system and the base 5e rules, either 2014 or 2024. If you click on the character's name and you go down to game system, you can see here, if I click on 5e 2024, it changes to species. If I go to the game system and go to 2014, it goes to race. So you can see already just how easily you can switch back and forth. But again, we're going to be focused on Black Flag role-playing today. So for lineage, you're going to see all of the base lineages like dwarf, elf, human, but you're also going to see some of these new ones from Tales of the Valiant like Siderian, Beastkin, Small Folk. I've got to go with Kobold, of course. So we'll select them. For heritage, let's say Wildlands heritage. And for background, how about Outcast? So from here, let's pick class. It feels like Druid is what's calling me, but you can see here the Mechanist is the all-new class from Tales of the Valiant, as well as all of the other basic classes you would expect to find. So I'll go ahead and click on Druid. You can, if you want to explore ahead, you can go and look at what the subclasses are. But we're going to go ahead and just select Druid. And now we'll just go ahead and kind of skim through here. I'm going to grab some proficiencies. For talents, which is a new mechanic from Tales of the Valiant, I think Quick is the one that makes the most sense. So you can also default to spell slots as usual, or you can switch to spell points, which is a different system that we can talk about on another video. But we'll go ahead and close out. For abilities, we'll make this quick. We'll go with High Whiz and Charisma. Starting equipment, we'll just go ahead and start with the base shield and sickle. And for spells, I have a lot of spells on Shard, and even after I've disabled a lot of mine, some of these are ones that I've created or brought over. So to simplify this, I'm just going to go over to our advanced filter, and I'm going to go to source, and I'm going to go to the Tales of the Valiant Player's Guide, and just limit us to these base cantrips and spells. So we'll say Druidcraft, Poison Spray, and Shocking Grasp for my cantrips. And if you're someone who's new and you're like, oh, what do these spells do? You can always just click on them, see what exactly it is they do, and then even see what source they come from. So we'll go ahead and say Cure Wounds, Animal Friendship, Fog Cloud, and Thunderwave. Okay, so last step is to go ahead and pick your token. So you can either go to upload something directly from your computer, you can search the web, or you can pick a token from what you already have on Shard. Now, by default, it's going to go to character tokens. So I could pick like this Kobold here, or ignore this one, Pixar. if I remove character token and I just type in Kobold, I could say pick this Kobold, which is clearly not a token, it's artwork. But if I click on it, it will bring up the menu for me to create a character token from it. So I can zoom out, I can set it however I'd like, I can pick the border. I've got a couple neat ones from our Kickstarter with Ginny D. And then we can go ahead and save it. And that's your character. So from here, you can go to, your actions, your spells, your class features, your equipment. I haven't set any of my description options down here, but you can of course do those as needed, personality traits, etc. And then I can also keep track of my session notes here, write the, whatever the name of the session is or the adventure that I'm in. And when I click new session, it will save the current one and move on to a new one. But yeah, just to kind of show you how the sheet looks, there's a lot here. It's, going from top to bottom. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to see all at once. So you can actually go in and hit these little icons and minimize them. So you get a little bit of a cleaner sheet, but you can still see what's inside these to click on them for when you need them. So like what does Fierce do? Oh, right. I can use a reaction to attack a creature, a larger creature after it attacks me. And then up here, it'll show me all of my different actions. So luck is a new mechanic in Tales of the Valiant. You can click on it if you need a reminder for how it works. Up here, you can see is the tracker for luck. And actually, if I click this little button here, that will use up my luck die. And then if you go over here, you can see like Nature's Gift. I can heal for 2d4 if I use it. I will go ahead and roll that. And now if I were in a campaign with someone, they would see this in chat and they'd be able to actually click on this number and heal for the amount. So it looks like I'm down 2 hit points. I believe this is from increasing my Constitution modifier from when we started. So I'll go ahead and click on that button and hit heal 4 HP. And there we go. My hit points have gone back up to 10. And then from here, you're ready to join your first campaign. So let me actually jump over to the campaign mode and then I'll show you what that looks like. So hang tight. In order to join a campaign, we've got to create a campaign. So you click here on new campaign and we're going to pick the adventure. Let's go ahead and limit it to Kobold Press. And it's called Caverns of the Spore Lord. And that will actually by default name the campaign that, but you can change it to whatever you'd want here. It's using my Kobold Press rule set. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And we jump right into the adventure. So over here on the right is going to be the book, the middle is my menu, and the left is going to be where I can see monsters, creatures, characters, and the chat log. Now, if this isn't how you want to approach your campaign and manage it visually, you can always go ahead and minimize the tracker over there. Like this is great for when you're doing campaign prep and you don't need that. You can also grab this and move it around kind of as you need. So let's say you've just started. You can go here to kind of go through the book. Again, we can minimize this and kind of read through to prep for the adventure. And once we've done that and we're ready to go ahead and invite our first character, we can go to hit invite. You can either email them or you can click copy to clipboard and send it to the person. So okay, here we are back at the home page with my character Hickson. I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy and paste the link to join the campaign. And now it says, thank you for joining. I can either join my existing character, create a new one, or decide later. And we're going to hit join my character to campaign. And we are going to type in Hickson. Go ahead and select. And now Hickson is in the campaign. And here on the right, we can't see anything because the GM has not unfogged the map, has not shared any artwork. And I might want to, let's say, go ahead and start to equip my gear, make an attack with my sickle, and then from there, roll some damage. All of those things will start to show up in chat. Now, I am zoomed in for the purposes of this video, but some folks might play with something more like this so they can see everything on their screen. But yeah, we'll go ahead and zoom back in. Go back to full screen. And yeah, so that's what it looks like from the character side of things. So I'm going to go back to the GM to show the map so you can start to see kind of what it looks like from their perspective. Okay, so here we are back at the campaign view from the Game Master's perspective. And let's just pretend for the sake of this example that we're just running a one-person campaign with Hickson as the lone kobold here to enter the caverns of the Spore Lord. Now, if I were to switch back over to Hickson, as you recall, they could not see anything on the map, and that's because it is completely fogged. So rather than run you through like how to run the whole campaign, I feel like the best thing to show you is just how to run and how simple it is to run an encounter on Shard from the Game Master side of things. So let's go ahead and add Hickson to the map. So if you click on the map, there's monster actions, character actions, add map, new encounter. If I go to character actions, I can click huddle characters. And now if I zoom in way down here, you see Hickson, but the map is still fogged for him. So let's say for Hickson's perspective, we're going to go in here and let's unfog the whole little town for him so he can see what the town looks like and the entrance of the tunnel that he's getting ready to head into. But as we go a little bit further, we'll probably want to pick a smaller brush, and let's say we're going to clear out to here, and we'll pretend that Hickson has made his way to this fork in the road, fork in the tunnel, and decides to head into this tunnel because he hears someone calling for help. Now, this is your chance as the GM to go ahead and look ahead and say, all right, well, wait, let me remind myself what they're walking into. So you can click on this little menu here, which shows you a variety of options. Go to where it is in the book. So we're going to do that first. We're going to go to Dustin's Folly. There's a man sobbing for help, and here is some flavor text for you to either read yourself, and you can click here and you can share this as a description for folks who like to see what's being read to them. But you describe what's happening, and then you want to say, okay, well, I'm trying to remember what exactly are they walking into. So I clicked on the little binoculars image, which brings up a view of the campaign. So again, I'm zoomed out a bit, so some of the text is a little bit crammed, but what you can see here is there's Dustin, and they are surrounded by two of these Skull Bloom and a Bloat Blossom. You can click to view their details, and then you can do the same for Dustin. So we can say, all right, what is Dustin? All right, he's he's only got 8 hit points, so he probably only has like 1 round to survive, if that. So once you've taken a moment to kind of refresh your memory, we can close this. Now you could also modify the encounter at this point. If we wanted to make it a little bit easier, we could click to remove one of these monsters before we get started, but we'll just go ahead and close out here. We will go to our fog brush, and we will clear out the tunnel for Hickson to see. And then from there, I can simply click on the pin and hit start encounter. And now automatically any of the creatures that were from that encounter will populate. It will go ahead and automatically roll their initiative. We can go to Hickson and imagine this is the player doing this, but they click here, they roll their initiative, automatically places Hickson at the top. Now I'm currently playing without the grid enabled. You can show the grid if you would like. So if you wanted to maybe make everyone match up to a specific grid, you can. So we would go ahead and let Hickson start. Hickson wants to give Dustin a chance to get away, so he's going to cast Fog Cloud. So he goes to cast it. It automatically uses up one of his spell slots. It adds it here as a concentration spell with 1 hour duration. And then if I want to add something to the map, I can click this little add spell token. There we go. And that can, now Hickson can call out for Dustin to, run to his voice. So now let's say we move to the Skull Blooms. It's their turn in combat. So we can actually, you can use this to go to indicate whose turn it is. The numbers beneath them also indicate what they are in the turn order. So you can kind of start to think ahead. Okay, I know this guy and this guy are going to go, and then Dustin's last. So we won't run through the whole encounter, but let's say that this Skull Bloom now is going to make an attack, but it's going to be with disadvantage because of the Fog Cloud. He's going to attack, and a 15 would hit Dustin's AC. We can see here he only has an AC of 10. But if I click here on disadvantage, 9, which means he's going to miss. And so let's just pretend for the sake of Dustin that the others miss as well. And Dustin goes ahead and uses his action to disengage, and he runs back through the fog. You can see it will show you how far you're moving the token. and is able to run back to the safety of the tunnel's entrance, leaving Hickson to either stay and fight or to run away. And he might want to cast, let's say, a Thunder Wave. So just to show you what that looks like, let's say he goes to cast it. All right, so if we zoom in a bit, we can see that it would do 2d8 damage with a 13 Constitution save. So we'll go ahead and have Hickson roll his damage. All right, 5 damage. Now let's, again, imagine the creatures have moved closer to him and are within range. We could go ahead and we can always click on him and see, all right, these guys are going to be within range. Once I've done that, if I want to go ahead and save the time and not have to click through each one and save on them individually, if I hit Control click, I can actually select them all. I can go and hit Save Con 13, Constitution save. Now I can either just roll the save or I can roll the save, and if I do, they will take either 5 damage, which is the full amount of damage, or they'll take half damage if they, if they save, and they'll take 5 if they fail. So we'll go ahead and do that. It will roll all 3 of them. You can see 2 failed and 1 passed. So those ones would go ahead and we would move them back, you know, oh, I still have them all selected, so I'll want to just select, let's say these are the 2 that got hit, move them back the 15 feet, and if you look at their hit points, the -5 damage has already been applied. So Hickson and Dustin make their escape. You're ready to move on to maybe perhaps a role-playing portion of the campaign. So you can always go here, back to the book, go to the table of contents, go to Hull Gig if you need to go back and remind yourself kind of like what's going on back in the town. And then also if you look over here and you're like, well, I need to kind of clean up this encounter, you can simply click Finish. And it depends on how you want to run your campaign. If you're someone who uses Milestone, you can actually click off here and just get rid of the experience points from it altogether. And if you're someone who would treat that as experience points or having escaped from them, you would hit OK. And if you would decide, no, I don't think that we're going to give him the full experience points, let's give him half. Click here and go ahead and hit save or OK. And now it goes back to Hickson. This is what it kind of looks like from the campaign view. It's how you run an encounter, you know, showing you how to invite folks. There's also a treasure option, which can be really nice for when you don't want to have to manage who gets what. You can simply click to pick a treasure and say that they found 50 gold on their way out of the cave. And let's say some studded leather armor from a previous adventurer. So we'll go here, we'll hit add, and we'll save it. And now I can click grant, and that will go into the shared treasure. So now when the players go to look at their shared treasure, they can see, oh wait, what did we get? All right, we've got this studded leather armor, we've got the gold pieces. You can click here and hit distribute. And if we had multiple characters, you could select who gets what, and it will automatically distribute the gold or the currency in an even fashion. But say there's 6 daggers, then you could give 2 daggers to each of the 3 players. There are ways to switch to other maps. So let's say that I wanted to show them an up close of kind of what those monsters look like that they're fighting. I could describe it. I could also click handout, and now they will suddenly see this taking up their whole screen. And if they, for whatever reason, want to go back and look at this later, they can just go here and click it in chat, and they can click to view it, or we can even add it to the journal. The journal is over here, and it's something that is visible to both the players and the game masters. It's a great place to add content from your books that you want them to see. Your log is over here. This is where you're going to keep track of your encounters, chat. And then there's, of course, the audio tag. Now, I have my audio fully disabled for this, but I have hundreds of audio files with music and sound effects and things like that. You can run those in here. You can run different sounds concurrently, tag them so that you've got, you know, horror, ambience, combat, etc. But those are all going to be tracked here. You, the GM, can control the volume. You can also increase or decrease depending on what type it is. And then the players themselves can also change the volume or disable it altogether. All right. Well, that kind of sums up things from the Game Master's perspective. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you'll consider going to Shard Tabletop and creating that account and giving it a try. And definitely shout out to Kobold Press for being our longest partner and publisher with whom we have the most amount of titles in our marketplace. So thank you, Kobold Press. We love you guys. All right, take care.
Hey, everybody. This is the Mirrorscape team, and we're here today to talk about our VTT and world building platform, which is also called Mirrorscape. I'm actually Grant Anderson, CEO. I'm joined by Don Bland, our COO, and by Eric McIntyre, who is our head of community and also our master map builder. We've partnered with Kobold Press to bring their map packs onto our platform, which is, if those not familiar with Mirrorscape, is an authentic way to build worlds and play in full 3D and augmented reality on your actual tabletop. So this is built from the ground up to use AR on your phones and tablets. We're on iOS and Android, and we're also on Steam on PC and Mac. So you can play completely cross-platform. You can build up your worlds, network in, and play with authentic miniatures. We partnered with Dwarven Forge, Reaper Miniatures, Fat Dragon Games, all the people and companies that you purchase actual physical minis from to be able to bring those down on your tabletop and have some fun. So today we're actually going to show you how we're bringing in the Forest map pack, which is the first map pack that we've started with Kobold Press to bring onto the platform. And you can see Eric building here. Eric, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, sure. So when you buy the Kobold Press map pack, it comes with a whole bunch of pieces, mostly a wilderness setting, but it comes with enough pieces to build all, I think, 24 maps in this set. And what I'm doing here is I've taken out the pieces from our inventory, and I'm putting down the 2D map first, so I have a reference piece, and then I kind of build every setting layer by layer, and I kind of check to make sure it's all coming together. But I really did enjoy this particular map pack because the 24 different settings, you can kind of click them together. I think we can show you something like that later, but when you click them together and actually have a full adventure made of these 24 individual settings. And what I'm doing right here is I picked this this campsite setting, and I'm using the pieces provided in this set, and I'm kind of laying the groundwork here, so to speak, as I build. So right here, you see I'm laying down what's gonna be a path. And once I've got the general outline of the path, I'm gonna drop the whole like floor level on top of it. And you'll see what happens, but there's all sorts of different fun and exciting ways to build custom encounters and these custom maps and everything. And I think I really did enjoy doing this particular set because I do love the outdoor stuff. And we've got these really cool animated fire pieces, and it really lets me explore different settings within the same asset pack. So there's a lot of flexibility here, and you'll see as we build how you can customize and make it even better. So
yeah, and when you brought in the image, so we let you bring in any image that you want. So you can just bring in, standard maps, bring those in, put your 3D minis on there. We connect with Hero Forge, so you can bring in all of your Hero Forge minis. We've also started a partnership where we're starting to bring in some Titancraft minis as well. So you'll be able to bring in and drop all your custom 3D minis right onto the tabletop. You could put these on the images, but as Eric's doing here, he uses it as, kind of a template so that he can build stuff. And you can also use it as negative terrain. And we've got lots of plans for this in the future where you'll be able to bring in multiple images. You can see that he was resizing it earlier and placing it, so obviously you can do that. But we'll be able to bring in multiple images. You'll be able to have animated images. So we're going to be expanding on this feature greatly in the coming months. But it's a great way to bring in and just start building on top of it, especially for dungeons and things like that, which are a little more uniform.
What I love about what you're doing here, Eric, is you're taking something that, most people just play on a flat map, right? And they, have their grid system and everything else. And what you've done is just make it come alive. And so, you take all the different pieces. I can see you're selecting different assets. How does that work? Tell me what the different colors mean.
So what I've done here is what I like to do when I'm building larger sets like this is as I'm building, I'll kind of have these different groups that I know are going to stay exactly where they are. So in this case, I had my tents all grouped up with the fire in the middle. I grouped up all my trees, and then that way when I move them, instead of having to move them one by one and make sure that they sit at the right heights and at the right different layers, they all come down together. So they're all where I want them to be on the same level. So it just makes building a lot faster if I'm able to group those pieces up. And lower them instead of doing it one by one. So you'll see I'll kind of make this outline piece. What I always like to do is add a layer of depth, because it gives you a ton of flexibility when it comes to pushing things in the ground, customizing a bit more. Like if I wanted to cut out a hole in the ground here and fill it up with water, I could make a small lake because of that added layer there. And you'll see how I adjust it slightly as we go. But for me, that just adds a whole new dimension to it. And you can see here, I'm almost done. And it didn't take very long at all. It was a ton of fun to build. And see, now I removed that layer, so that's why the color changed. I wanted to add a few more trees to make it a little bit thicker. So I removed that entire group and I put it down, and then
a nice little animation on the trees too.
Yeah, it's a nice little wind swing. I'm removing all the groups now because I want to be able to have the flexibility now that we've kind of built that groundwork in to make it how I want it. I'm just right now adjusting the height of the path to make it more defined there, so you can kind of see I'm making it a little bit rougher so it looks more organic. But yeah, it's just there's a ton of flexibility here, and like you could see, like that log right there, it's still sitting up way too high for what I want for it. So you'll see shortly here. I'm picking out some I think I'm picking out minis here. Yeah, I'm about to place some minis here so that we can kind of feel what an actual game would look like, what an actual scenario. So here we got the kobolds coming in and invading this campsite. I'll put out a few heroes shortly, and then you'll be able to actually see those kobolds from the perspective of your player, which is really, really cool.
And then the groups also help do fog of war, right? So not that we'd actually use it here, but you can group those up, and then the GM can hide those, and they'll actually disappear from your player. And then when you enter that area, he can drop those down, and map will build right up from that perspective.
Right, that's exactly. So, making the different groups allows, if people can't see what they're looking at, you can make sure they don't by grouping it up and hiding it from them.
Then here's the secret sauce, speaking of dropping down stuff. So, as I said, this is all built from the ground up for augmented reality. So on your phones and tablets, iOS and Android, you can actually drop it down. We're also just announced that we are coming to Google's new headset. So augmented reality headset, virtual reality headset. So you can actually drop these down on your real tabletop, and they look completely lifelike, where you'll be able to, on the headsets, actually reach out and grab them like they're physical with your fingers and actually move them across the table. It's just magic. It blows your mind.
I mean, this is literally magic. So we also have some measurement tools, that will measure both domes and line of sight and allow you to move with, accuracy within the size of the relative pieces. But just the AR part is unbelievable. And we got some awesome dice. So lots of different dice from different manufacturers, and you just tap on them and you bring them out of your inventory, you roll them, they bounce all over the table with awesome physics.
On your actual tabletop, which was so cool in augmented reality, your digital dice are behaving like real dice on your real tabletop. So this is where it just ties it all together. Our whole thing is like, we're always saying for Mirrorscape that we want the word we use is authentic, to have that authentic experience where it's not a video game, but we're using that real terrain from all these real life manufacturers and replicating that here. So you get that feel of being around the table, and you can actually play around the table with your players, especially in AR. And still have the best part of role playing, which is seeing each other and playing with each other.
Yeah, but this is the AR portion is what really sets us apart as something that if you wanted to build this physically, it would probably cost you $150-$200. In our platform, it costs you about $5. So that's part of the big value add that we give. So this is part of all of them right here, placed out on my table.
Much more larger map.
Yeah, and so go ahead. Sorry.
Right. Sorry, I just get excited. Right here, you can see these are what I was talking about before with the 24 individual maps that have been combined together to make one huge adventure. With different types of setting, there's different layers. That's a big hole. That hole actually goes down into the table. And you can see the statues and these custom stairs and tree houses and stuff like that. So it was a ton of fun to build all 24 of these pieces. I love the water. The water actually glistens. It actually flows. We've got a really nice a waterfall set in there. And then this is the really cool stuff. I'll let you take it away from here, Don.
Yeah, so you can go out in your backyard or in your living room or wherever you want to go, and you can actually pop inside the map. in life-size AR. So we call this life scale. I'm physically walking through the map right now as I'm walking through the grass. And so, there's the kobolds that Eric put down, and this has a lot of implications to the future of gaming. We could probably go into this for another 45 or 50 minutes as to what we want to do with this. But, this is the, sort of the prototype. But you can see the fire's going, the monk is there, the ranger is there, and it's just so cool. It's just...
And this really helps you too with in war games too. We're getting into wargaming. We announced we're bringing Fallout Factions to Google's new headset and then back to our other platforms. But in wargaming and RPGs, you can see, who you can actually see, who's got cover, how far they are with the measurement tools. But this literally lets you, just the sheer fun of it, walk through the creations that you've made. And people can all crossplay this way. So some people can be in AR and in life scale, and then others can be on their phones or tablets, just laying on the couch. So, thanks for watching, and definitely check us out. We're at mirrorscape.com. All these maps are available as part of the Kobold map pack, the Forest pack, and we'll be looking to bring others, including dungeon packs and others, to the platform as well. So check it out, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, and join our Discord, please. We are there 24/7. Great community, great bunch of builders, great bunch of gamers. We love new faces, so please join the Discord, discord.gg/Mirrorscape.
And the only last thing I would say is that, you can build or you can share. And we have a full categorized website full of hundreds and hundreds of maps that our community has built over the years. And they're all shareable. They're all free. And you can come in and hop in and be part of our community. And just want to say thank you for watching, and thanks for being a fan of Mirrorscape.
Hope to see you all there. Everybody, cheers.
All right, bye-bye.